For this video, we need to be realistic about what you can expect getting into liquidity pools if that's what you want to do with your crypto. And like I've said a million times, if you are new to crypto, just leave this video now. This isn't for you. The guys that join the group, the guys that watch these videos that I speak to, are guys that have been in crypto and are jaded by the coins or crypto not doing anything. So the idea is that they've got existing crypto that they want to monetize instead of it doing nothing. That's the idea of this whole thing with DeFi and liquidity pools. Now, one, can you make more money in DeFi than you would say in the traditional finance, TradFi? Yes, you can. But I want to be realistic about returns in terms of what you can expect and what you can't expect when getting into this sector. And if you're looking at making 2K a month, how much portfolio-wise do you need to achieve this? You've got two aspects of this. You've got immediately getting into the liquidity pools, and you've got the compound effect. You could probably add a third, which is the variable ROI per month that you'll get. Straight off the bat here, getting into a pool or liquidity pools with your portfolio, if you were to get, the straight 1% a month, to get the 2K return, you need 200K. But again, if it's a 10% month, you only need 20K. So, somewhere in between, depending on what pools you're using, what your risk tolerance is, what your ranges are, you're going to be getting. I mentioned before, I did a post where on my pools, I got between 6 and 7% a month. So if you add between this kind of range here, for that month, you'd need between 28 and 33K to generate that 2K per month. Now, obviously, in terms of risk reward, 10% a month, we got that literally back in February on an Ethereum-based USDC pool. You ain't getting that in that at the moment. You're probably getting more between this range here. So you need a higher portfolio. But that's the kind of thing with these pools. They are variable. So time in the market rather than time in the market is key, because if you join now in liquidity pools, you may not necessarily see a fantastic ROI. And this is what we tell the group, guys that join the group, and be realistic with them. However, in 3 months' time, it can just go completely the other way. That is what happens. But if you're in these pools for, 12 months, 24 months, you're going to experience the fluctuations in these great months that you have. And again, the compound effect happens, which I'm going to kind of show you now. But I did get a comment as well on, I think it was X, a guy saying, oh, there's no way that anyone is getting good returns on an Ethereum pool. And they have. I've shown it. like Grant here, for example, in the group. This guy is in just Ethereum USDC, and this is around probably 6 to 8 months ago. He's making 2K a day. He's got a big portfolio. But going back to this, you can see, on these months here, the size of portfolio, imagine the ROI you're getting up here with a portfolio this size, gaining this percent per month. So, you will get the variable returns, and it does happen. And again, I can't say what your risk tolerance is. Talked about the pools that I'm doing. And, this varies as well. You've got this Keto pool here, which is 407%. This isn't normal. But then you've got an Aave pool, which is higher up in the market cap rankings, 27%. This was 60% yesterday. So it is variable, and you've got to take all this into account. And I just wanted to show what guys in the group are doing. You've got Grant there. You've got Zakia with this Sol pool that he was running. And then you've got Jesse 1K a day pools, 30K a month. And that was, when it was going good as well. So you've got to appreciate there are good months, there are bad months, but you will get generally, like I've said, this is just an Ethereum Aave one at 27% APR. So that's around 2.5% a month, which isn't too bad. And that's what guys are kind of seeing now in the Ethereum based pools. And obviously this is detailed in the group, on the modules, on the calls. If that's what you want to do, obviously you can, book a call, etc. So to go to, sorry, I made this in ChatGPT before. So this is the compound growth example. Probably better actually just to show on here because it's zoomed in. So let's just say on a basic 40% portfolio, if you were to get an average yield per month of 2.5% and you reinvested that, it does build up. So you start on 40k, your monthly yield, let's just say you get an average of 2.5% every month throughout the year. At the end of that first month, you've got 41k, but then you reinvest that into month 2, so you start on 41k. Then the next month yield is $1,025. And every month you can see how it builds up. The next month, 42 and 25. Then the yield is 1,050. Ending capital is 43. And you see how it builds up. So by the end of the year, it ends up being 53k. Right? So you've earned over the 12 months, 13,795. And your average monthly yield has gone up by this. But that's just based on 2.5%. Like I said, the yield can be variable. And the compound effect does take place. You don't have to do anything stupid. You don't have to chase yield. The good thing about the DeFi pools is it's your decision. You're the kind of person that can change the dial on the yield. So, you go to your bank and you get the, whatever it is, 4% a year. You can kind of change the dial on what that be. And, you look at the S&P 500, average 10% a year. You're kind of not in control as much as you are in DeFi. Now, obviously the yield is variable, but you can change the variables on the yield. So you can change the range. You can find the APR that matches the crypto you've got. So you're in control very much more so than you would be with the S&P 500, for example, because all that happens with the S&P 500 is you invest in it, historically 10 to 12% per year. So you can't really look at much more than that. Obviously you can invest in individual stocks, but again, you're subjected to the stock price. With this, you can kind of change the variables somewhat, where you can go to the coins that you believe in, the cryptos you believe in, the pools you want to go in, the ranges you want to set to then affect the APR. Now, obviously, that's going to be slightly variable, but again, you can kind of dictate to a point what rates you want to get. So I'll leave you with that. Have a think about it. It is something to think about. It is something to decide. If this is something you haven't done or you want to do, is all something that is in your hands to dictate. If you're looking at this 2K example, which I've shown here, if you can't get it straight away, it may be something you can build up to over time, which can be done. Or you can obviously go past that. It just depends on, like I said, the crypto you have and the risk tolerance, etc. But the main reason I kind of gone down the DeFi route is to stop this, which is, I made this on a live stream, but this is kind of the stuff that you see on YouTube these days, where it's, it's always this time next year we're millionaires, stupid price predictions, and Del Boy in the thumbnail. But anyway, cheers for watching. Hope you like my videos. If you do, please like, subscribe. See you all very soon.